Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40k Universe. I am your host, Xoan, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue with part 2 of the Tyranids fact videos. Now, of course, please check out part 1 because I'm going to jump straight into it, and if you haven't seen part 1, a lot of these facts are not going to make sense because you need to watch part 1 in order for it to make sense. So please do that. Now let's get into 40 facts about the Tyranids. During this stage, even if the hive mind were overcome and the majority of the Xenos were eliminated, the battle to cleanse the planet completely would continue for millennia because tiny microbial Tyranids will continue to plague the planet. The fourth phase in the Tyranid invasion is known as the Subjugation Phase, where maggot-like Tyranids are dropped down, where they consume all forms of biomass, both living and dead, only to drag their enlarged stomachs into giant digestive pools formed by the capillary towers. During the fifth phase of the Tyranid invasion, called absorption, the hive fleet extends tendrils through the atmosphere and connects with the capillary towers, which absorb and harvest the biomass. The remaining Tyranid creatures then throw themselves into the digestive pools, where they are broken down and absorbed back into the hive fleet. During the Tyranid invasion, eel-like rippers swarm through the oceans in massive swarms, devouring all the native sea life. The fifth phase of the Tyranid invasion sees the absorption of every biomass on the planet. The capillary towers get reabsorbed into the hive fleet. The hive ship even absorbs the atmosphere, taking in all the rich chemicals from the planet. If invaded, it is best to attack the Tyranid hive fleet and the mycetic spores to sever the connection between the attackers and the hive mind. Doing this will result in confusion between the Tyranids on the ground and in the air. Hive tyrants are large and enormously strong Tyranids who act as leaders of the swarm and a synaptic conduit for the smaller creatures. Imperial scholars believe that the hive tyrants are the repository of the hive fleet's collective conscious, which means they completely embody the hive mind, yet their destruction does not in any way diminish the presence of the hive mind. Broodlords are another Tyranid synaptic organism, regarded as the epitome of the gene stealer breed. The broodlord is one of the first gene stealers to make planetfall on a victim world. If the broodlord is killed, then one of the pure strain gene stealers will eventually evolve into a new broodlord after a period of time. Tyrant guard are a special species of Tyranids spawned in a small brood for the sole purpose of defending the hive tyrant. They are large, tough, and difficult to harm. Tyrant guards are completely blind, utterly controlled by the synaptic creature they protect. Tyrant guards are believed by some Adeptus Mechanicus scholars to contain the DNA of a defeated Space Marine chapter, but the Imperium considers this blasphemy and denies it to this very day. Tyranid warriors are synaptic foot troops for the swarm. In between the size of a hive tyrant and a gaunt, they serve a psychic resonance and assist in guiding the lesser Tyranids into battle. Gaunts are the basic staple combat unit of a Tyranid swarm. They are small and less physically powerful than most of the Tyranid organisms, but they are extraordinarily adaptable and always attack in large numbers. Gargoyles are essentially winged variants of the gaunt genus. They possess many similar traits, including a smaller size, physical prowess than most Tyranid organisms. Rippers are small, snake-like organisms designed to devour biomatter so that the DNA and the nutrients can be absorbed by the hive ships. They are released in the final phase of a Tyranid invasion. Gene stealers are ferocious humanoid creatures, supposedly derived from the human DNA, that are used as a vanguard to the Tyranid invasion of the Imperium. They infiltrate human societies, creating gene stealer cults. Carnifexes were originally known as scream killers, are huge, hulking, living battery rams, armed with a variety of biochemical synaptic weaponry. Even stronger than a hive tyrant, they are used for the assaulting of fortified positions and as armor fortifications. Raveners appear to be related to both Rippers and Tyranid warriors. These large beasts are designed for fast assault against lighter enemies, and dig through the ground to perform surprise raids. Xoan Throats are a type of psychic artillery, whose high evolved brains swell out of proportion with their bodies. Some evidence points to later incarnations of Xoan Throats being improved by the hive mind's assimilation of Eldar DNA, following the Hive Fleet Kraken Tyranid assault on the craft world of Iyanden. Biovores are sluggish creatures whose only task is to grow and launch spore mines towards the enemy. The spore mines grow inside the Biovore's body and then are hurled across the battlefield through a muscle spasm. There's a joke there, but it's inappropriate, so I'm not going to say it. Biotitans are enormous organisms evolved as a response to other races, titans, and other super heavy war machines. They are, as of yet, the largest land-based Tyranid creatures ever encountered. Norn queens are gargant organisms that are essentially biomechanical wombs that give birth to all of the other known Tyranid life forms. They can biochemically and genetically manipulate biomass in infinite ways to create new organisms to serve any function in the Tyranid race. Dominatrix are Norn queens linked to the Tyranid ground forces. They are huge monsters, almost as large as a Biotitan and the stronger, more physically powerful female hive tyrants. Trigons are powerful, serpentine organisms that tunnel behind enemy lines, towering over even a Carnifex. Trigons are one of the most powerful Tyranid breeds in existence. Trigons can lead a force of Tyranids known as a tunnel swarm. This swarm is usually comprised of lictors and hormigons. The armor of a Trigon vibrates as it moves, thus creating a bioelectric current which can be released at will on a group of foes. Molochs are a subspecies of Trigon. They are worm-like and blind, though they are incredibly agile despite their size. Their short claws are not suited for close combat, rather to tunnel effectively under the battlefield, although they are not, by no means, defenseless. When a Moloch begins to home in on an enemy, severe tremors erupt on the surface, which can tell the Moloch where its prey is with more accuracy. If the sound is regular and rhythmic, it is easy for the Moloch to hone in on an enemy. Even a heartbeat will tell it where its next meal is. The Hive Guard are charged with protecting Tyranid structures and are capable of unleashing salvo after salvo of intense firepower. Essentially gun beasts, they are heavily armored in a shell-like carapace and have a body designed to be stable firing platforms, for the massive impaler cannons bond to their former limbs. Hive Guard can target enemies with extreme accuracy, even those who they cannot see, because they can receive sensory impressions from the shard beasts in mid-air. Tyranids were first described in the first edition of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. They have many similarities to today's Tyranids, with one major difference. They were depicted as six-limbed, relatively diminutive creatures, an appearance which would later be assigned to the Tyranid Termagants. The first Tyranid army had an enslaved alien race called Xoans that was playable in the game. The Tyranids bear a great many similarities to the xenomorphic design of the Alien film series. I'm not saying they copied them, but they copied them a little bit. Like the Tau, the Tyranids do not have a direct Warhammer Fantasy counterpart. Hive Fleet Colossus, Timete, Scarabus, Ouroboros, Nemesis, and Gorgon are among many other splinter hive fleets from the much larger hive fleets that have entered the galaxy. Hive Fleet Behemoth and Hive Fleet Kraken have both been defeated, but Hive Fleet Leviathan is one of the current largest threats to the known galaxy. And those were 40 facts about the Tyranids. Of course, the Tyranid lore does not end here. Please click on part 3 to learn more about the Tyranids. Please comment down below if you guys would like me to cover any other race in the Warhammer 40k universe. And thank you guys so much for being subscribers. Thank you for watching and sharing this with your friends. You guys are awesome. This was Xoan with One Mind Syndicate, signing off.